The story of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard is a complex one, filled with love, accusations, and a very public legal battle. Their romance, initially perceived as a Hollywood fairy tale, quickly descended into a whirlwind of controversy. It all began on the set of The Rum Diary in 2009, where sparks flew between the two actors. Their on-screen chemistry translated into an off-screen connection, marking the beginning of their relationship. This connection deepened over the years, leading to a seemingly joyous marriage in 2015. The wedding was a private affair, but the images that surfaced painted a picture of happiness and commitment. Behind the glamour of red carpets and celebrity events, their relationship was, in reality, fraught with turmoil and hidden tensions. Cracks began to appear beneath the surface, hinting at a darker reality. These issues soon escalated, spilling into public view and attracting intense media scrutiny. The private struggles of the couple became fodder for tabloids and news outlets worldwide. In 2016, Heard filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. She also obtained a temporary restraining order against Depp, adding fuel to the already raging fire. The reason? Allegations of domestic violence, accusations that would forever change the trajectory of both their lives and careers. Images of her bruised face dominated headlines and social media feeds, painting a stark picture of alleged abuse. This immediately cast Depp in a negative light, portraying him as the villain in the eyes of the public. A private settlement reached in 2017 seemed for a brief moment to bring an end to the saga. However, the conflict was far from over, and it reignited with renewed intensity. The situation escalated when the Sun newspaper labeled Depp a wife-beater, based on Heard's allegations. This prompted Depp to file a libel suit in the UK, which he ultimately lost in 2020, further damaging his reputation. The verdict had a devastating impact on Depp's career, leading to Hollywood rejection and a period of professional uncertainty. Despite the setbacks, Depp was determined to clear his name and fought back against the accusations. He launched a U.S. defamation suit against Heard, focusing on an op-ed she had written for The Washington Post. The 2022 Virginia trial became a global spectacle, with every moment live-streamed and dissected by millions of viewers online. Social media platforms were flooded with opinions and commentary. The trial dramatically flipped the narrative, shifting public opinion in Depp's favor. In a stunning turn of events, the jury ultimately sided with Depp, finding that Heard had defamed him. The court awarded him substantial damages, marking a significant victory and a potential restoration of his tarnished reputation. However, the years of silence, isolation, and professional exile had undoubtedly taken their toll on Depp. This raises a crucial question. What if Depp had chosen to speak up sooner, challenging the narrative from the outset? Would the outcome have been different? The timeline of their tumultuous saga serves as a stark lesson in the power of public opinion and how quickly media coverage can shift perceptions, transforming heroes into villains and back again. When Heard's allegations surfaced in 2016, the world watched with bated breath as a seemingly perfect celebrity image began to crumble. The timing couldn't have been worse for Depp, as the Me Too movement was gaining momentum, amplifying the voices of survivors and demanding accountability. In this climate, Depp was swiftly cast as the abuser, a label that would stick to him like glue, regardless of the full story. Media coverage was relentless, a constant barrage of negative press that seemed determined to paint him in the worst possible light. Every tabloid, every news outlet, seemed to be competing to publish the most sensational, most damning story, with photos and stories painting a one-sided narrative. Depp's silence, whether strategic or simply a result of shock and disbelief, was seen as guilt, an admission of wrongdoing in the eyes of the public. And studios like Disney and Warner Brothers, fearing backlash and boycotts, quickly distanced themselves, severing ties with the actor. This meant ending his roles in major franchises, roles that had defined his career and brought him immense success. The UK libel loss in 2020, a devastating blow to his legal efforts, cemented his fall, solidifying the public's perception of him as an abuser. At that point, making a comeback seemed impossible, a distant dream fading further with each passing day. Depp's reputation as a beloved actor, a charismatic performer adored by millions, was abruptly and brutally replaced by a new label, domestic abuser, a title that carried immense weight and condemnation. The power of the first narrative was clear. It had taken hold of the public consciousness, shaping opinions and influencing perceptions. In the face of such overwhelming negativity, his attempts to fight back, to clear his name, seemed futile. a David versus Goliath battle with little hope of success. The lesson: in the court of public opinion, where perception often trumps reality, silence can be damning, a sign of weakness or guilt. Depp's career was nearly destroyed, his reputation tarnished beyond recognition, before he ever had a chance to defend himself, to present his side of the story, to speak his truth to the world. Imagine if Depp had released audio evidence in 2016 showing a more complex, mutually toxic relationship. The narrative could have shifted from clear-cut villainy to ambiguity, forcing the media to consider both sides. Early intervention might have preserved his reputation and career, as studios and the public would have faced doubt instead of certainty. Instead, Depp's silence allowed the damaging story to take root, making his later defense an uphill battle. The 2022 trial proved his evidence was powerful, but the cost was years of lost work and anguish. In celebrity crises, speaking first can define the battleground and change everything. In the high-stakes world of Hollywood, studios are incredibly protective of their brands and reputations. They understand that even a hint of scandal can tarnish their image and impact their bottom line. When allegations against Johnny Depp surfaced, the studios acted swiftly, severing ties to avoid any potential backlash and protect their valuable assets. If Depp had proactively countered the allegations early on, presenting his side of the story and challenging the narrative, the situation might have unfolded differently. Faced with a more complex and contested situation, studios might have hesitated to make such a decisive move. They might have waited for more facts to emerge, conducting their own investigations before ultimately deciding to terminate his contracts. This ambiguity and period of investigation could have potentially preserved his iconic role as Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, and his role as Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts series, thus averting what ultimately became years of professional exile from the industry. Similarly, for Amber Heard, an early and robust challenge to the prevailing narrative surrounding the controversy might have significantly altered her career trajectory as well. It could have made both actors riskier bets for studios, forcing them to carefully weigh the potential consequences of casting either one. The public's initial impression, heavily influenced by the early narrative, played a crucial role in shaping everything that followed. A more contested and balanced narrative would have forced Hollywood executives to pause and reconsider their immediate actions. Instead, Depp's initial silence and perceived inaction made it far easier for studios to swiftly drop him from their projects. In the end, the entire course of both of their careers could have taken a drastically different turn had the initial narrative been challenged more effectively. The Depp-Heard trial reshaped conversations about abuse, celebrity, and justice. Depp's victory challenged assumptions about gender and victimhood, but also raised fears that defamation suits could silence real victims. The live-streamed spectacle turned private pain into public entertainment, trivializing serious issues. The case highlights the risks of litigating trauma in the digital age, where the first story told often prevails. It's a cautionary tale. Silence can be costly, and public opinion is shaped in real time. The Depp-Heard saga will influence legal and cultural strategies for years to come. In the end, it forces us to ask, who do we believe and why?